Hello and welcome, I am Arumba, thank you for joining me. This is my guide to opening moves for England in the 1.25 patch for the Rule Britannia patch. We got Dharma coming out pretty soon, but the strategy should still work very well in the next patch as well. So what I want to show you guys is like a really easy way you can have a strong opening against France and make England a superpower like right away without having any real issue with beating France in the main first war. If you've ever played as England before, you know that it's pretty tough to beat England in the beginning of the campaign because they've got mainland Europe and you've got this land here that's hard to defend. And I'm going to show you an easy way to just make that much simpler. So my main goals are going to be to finish the mission, levy the troops as soon as we possibly can. We want to protect against the French land army threat. We'd like to try to set up for a potential personal union over France. And we would also like to try, if possible, to establish ourselves as the papal controller by using the clergy-estate interaction. So let's just real quick start with that one. At the very beginning of the game, if we go in here and we send an emissary to the Pope, we can then go talk to the papacy and spend 5 papal influence to have a 100% chance of becoming the next Curia controller. The Curia controller is selected when the current Pope dies. The current Pope is 61 years old. But the advantage we have over the AI is that the AI will never click estate interactions like we just did. So that means that France has to earn his papal influence over the next few years. So if the Pope dies in the next couple of years, we have a 100% chance of becoming the Curia controller. That's a small advantage, but it can add up to a lot in the long run. Being the Curia controller gives us all of these benefits, which we'd definitely like to have. All right, next we want to talk about this mission, Levy the Troops. England has a unique mission tree, meaning that every single one of these things is special only to England. This one is incredibly strong. It's called Levy the Troops. If we have 100% of our force limit met, 60% of our manpower out of maximum, and we have an active general, then we get a permanent claim on all of Ireland, and we get the subjugation casus belli against Scotland. The subjugation CB is very important because the total war score cost for Scottish provinces is 123%, which means that you have to fight him over the course of multiple wars if you want to conquer him. But with subjugation, it costs 50% less to subjugate or vassalize a country, which means that we can do it for just 60 war score. So what we're going to do is achieve that mission as fast as we possibly can. And by that, I mean before we even unpause the game. So how are we going to do that? We're going to get rid of some of our provinces, basically. Let's do this first. We're going to go ahead and do a few more interactions with the clergy. We're going to seek some support. We're going to not make the generous donation just yet, but we are going to yeah, let's go ahead and demand the points, and then let's make the generous donation right now. We will then boost stability by 1. We want to be at positive 1 stability because it slows down the disaster from 2.5 to 2, which gives us an extra like 8 months or so until the disaster will fire, the War of the Roses event. Real quick, one thing I would definitely recommend is you sell at least 3 of your heavies. You do not need them to beat France. Usually Brittany will buy 1. A lot of times Flanders or Holland will buy 1. Ideally, you want to get 50 ducats for it, but it's not super important that you get the full amount. Just check real quick, see if East Frizzy would want to buy 1. Yeah, he'll give us 40 ducats. Okay, so there's a little bit of influx of cash. And then the next thing we're going to do is, let's let 1 day pass. We want to now get rid of the French land threat. And we're going to do that by releasing Normandy. We're also going to release Gascony. We're then going to go talk to Normandy, grant him the provinces of Alencon, Maine, and we're also going to give him Calais. Basically, everything that's on the mainland is now controlled by subjects. Now you might be thinking, well, so what? France will just kill your subjects. Yeah, but we got a trick up our sleeve. We're going to enable scutage, and then as long as we declare an offensive war, and France doesn't try to declare directly on these subjects, they will not be in any wars that we are in with France, which means that that land is safe. This army is going to, or this navy rather, is going to hunt enemy fleets in the North Atlantic. We're going to put Richard in charge of this army and have him head up to here. This army is going to go up to here. One thing that Scotland almost always does at the very beginning of the game is they turn off this fort because their economy is not very good. They do have just that one fort, and they don't want to pay for it, which is great. Because if we send with Richard in charge of this army, or possibly maybe it's faster this way, December 20th with the leader gets us there on the 15th. versus the leader being here gets us there on the 18th. Yeah, so this army's a little bit quicker. We want to get there as early into the month as we can. And now we want to achieve that mission. So how are we going to get up to 100% of our force limit? We've already done part of it by granting this land to some subjects. We took our force limit from 33 down to 29 because we gave up about 6 force limit worth of land, and then the subjects only provide 1. We need to get it down by another 3, and to do that, we're going to use a mechanic called Exploit Development. We're basically just going to exploit the manpower of every single province that we have. It seems dirty, it seems bad to do this, but if it lets us have a very strong opening move, then it's worth it. By doing that, our force limit has gone down a little bit on its own, but also we've raised our current manpower to a large enough number that we're going to achieve it. You could probably get by only doing like half the clicks, but I find it simpler just to do the whole thing. It's not a big deal. Next, we need to now lower autonomy a little bit more by granting Sussex to the clergy. Sussex in particular, because it does have grain, which increases force limit by 0.5. By granting it to the clergy, we have 25% autonomy here, which gets rid of 25% of the force limit. Next, we're going to just raise autonomy here, because this province provides lots of force limit, and we just cut that down to 27. And then we're going to grant just a couple more provinces on the interior of the country, like say here. We don't want to get rid of our naval force limit outside of Sussex, so we want to use the interior of the country to do this. Now see how that force limit right there says 19.12? It hasn't updated yet, but it rounds down to the nearest number. So if we give one more province, it says 18.99. It's actually going to put us at 26 force limit. You just have to do one more interaction or have another monthly tick in order for it to update. So let's go talk to the burghers now. We'll grant monopoly charters. And now when we look at our force limit, it will be at 26, which means we've already achieved the mission. We've levied the troops. We now have the subjugation CB on Scotland and claims on all of Ireland. Next, let's talk about rivals. We obviously want to rival Scotland. We obviously want to rival France. We want to rival probably not Burgundy or Denmark. Let's go with Aragon. We're going to try to achieve this next mission with France as well. So people have done things. We do want to establish royal marriages with Portugal and our 2 subjects as early as we can, so that we have a better chance of getting an heir. If they ask to be made into a march, just say no. Let's do a royal marriage down there. Let's do a royal marriage with Gascony. Okay, now we're basically just going to fast forward to December the 11th. Let's go ahead and hire an advisor or 2, though. We do have decent income right now. We can take Diplo Rep guys, fine. Fort Defense guys, fine. All right, speed forward to December the 11th. You can't declare before then, so. End of the 100 Years' War. So, the 100 Years' War was the last great medieval war. It was a war not just between kings, but lesser nobles. We can lose our core in Armagnac. Doesn't matter, it's a subject, right? So who cares? We have like 1 claim down there, but our subject has cores down there too. So we can just say no problem and gain stability, which is great. And then on December the 11th, hopefully what will have happened is that because he mothballed that fort, he'll have no garrison there. Which means that on December the 11th, we now attack Scotland directly using subjugation. And because we sent the army up north right away, they will arrive in Westmarch on the 22nd of December, which means that this garrison will still be at 0, which means that Scotland is going to basically just give this land to us. France just joined the war, which means that we can satisfy the 100 Years' War mission. And now, one of the next main things we want to try to accomplish is setting up this potential personal union over France. In order to achieve this next mission, we have to occupy his capital. His capital is only a level 1 fort, and the zone of control only protects it from this side. So if we can get military access through Burgundy, which he might give us because we're at war with a neighboring rival, then we can land troops after we've beaten Scotland in Calais, march into Artois, then go to Cambrai, to Reims, into Paris. And if we're lucky, we can park our entire army, even if it's a 50 stack, or 20 stack, 30 stack, whatever you end up building, just park the whole thing there until you occupy Paris. Then you just white peace France. So let's go ahead and win this war. We'll try to play it on speed 4. Hopefully it'll be easy enough to win. I already have the Navy on hunt enemy fleets, so they should do a well enough job just finding other navies to kill. It shows negative 57% chance to take the fort, but again, there's no garrison, so the next monthly tick will automatically take it. Now this would be ideal. He is actually, because Scotland is allied with somebody else, he's going to go after Pale, which is just like this 8 development province. And we're going to murder this navy here. We're going to let Scotland cross, ideally. And then we're going to park our navy in the Irish Sea, so that he's stuck. Papal State allied France, that's not a big deal. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little bit of carpet sieging. Now, France starts the game off with very few transports. They have 8, which means the most they could actually land at once would be just 8 troops, which is not really that big of a deal. Let's leave the heavies behind and have this faster fleet of light ships go through and hopefully pick off some of these other ships that they have. They cannot cross as long as we have at least one ship there. I'm gonna put this as part of Control Group 1. Hey, we have an heir. So there goes the 100 Years' War because we picked up those royal marriages with our subjects. We do have a very low chance of that actually happening, but like our chance for a new heir is, I think, negative. Yeah, it's just negative 10%. It's actually not that bad. We should also get started on the siege of Inner Hebrides, which is subject of Scotland. Got a wall breach there, which is even better. Even if France tries to land troops, it'll take him over a month, like 36 days to get the troops on the ground. So you just have to pay attention a little bit. There's his transports right there. You can see that there's no actual army on that fleet, so that's fine. Let's leave behind enough sail speed so that we can blockade Lothian. So we need 16 sail speed. I prefer to do it with transports because transports are not very good at combat. So there's 17 sail speed there, 42 this way. Let's have this navy swing back down south again. Okay, we do have the fleet from Scotland here fighting. Let's bring these guys back down that way. Got that siege started. Let's grab one extra troop just to make sure that we have protection against disease outbreaks. Looks like the French have sent their ships over here too. We can't risk leaving these leaving this path open. Well, we actually could. Like if I park the entire army in Ayrshire, he's not going to try to cross. But let's see if we can just pull 2 of the heavies over. Might be better to just leave a couple transports there to blockade that. Alright, we needed 16 sail speed again, so let's grab those up to there. Let's have the other navy head back this way. Actually, if they can get some repairs this month, all of them, that'd be great. And we'll have these guys go back to hunting enemy fleets. right, so we are at our force limit, or we were. Now that we have basically won the war against Scotland, now we just need to get France to peace out so that we can have 100% war score against Scotland. And the ideal way to resolve that is going to be to do this other mission. But if you don't think you can beat France because he's just got too many land troops, it doesn't really matter. You can just do it later. France does have 28,000 troops, so that's kind of a lot. We have 26,000 of our own, but we definitely need to finish these sieges before we can do something like that. We need how much sail speed up here? Just 3? Let's grab a couple more transports. Have those guys head up to that sea tile. I will try to go for the French peace deal, but... Alright, there goes Lothian. Have these guys all head down to our capital in preparation for going into the next area. Our transports are not very good at combat, but they should be alright to beat this other 8 stack here. And here's how you can see it's definitely true. You do not need all of your heavies for this. Okay, we do need a couple more troops down there, so let's go ahead and grab... combat width is very small at the beginning of the game, but infantry is all we really need. Let's go up one more troop in that area. Also, we probably want to make our guy into a general, just because we want him to die. He's not very good. You know, he's like a 0-0-0. At this point, anything would be better. Climate in Calais is 24, which is plenty to use as a staging ground. Let's wait for that last infantry, and then we want to get this army down there too. All right, let's see if we have access through Burgundy. We do not yet, so if we tried to march down there, we can't. If we land over here, we'll have to go through Chartres first, which does not get the mission satisfied. Just gonna go on speed 5 for a moment while we wait for that fort to fall. I'm not being very, economic with my diplomats, but it doesn't matter. Wave of obscurantism. We don't really want that just yet. Kind of unlucky how long this has taken. Alright, there we go. Let's auto fleet transport these guys down. Wait until they've arrived. Alright, everybody's here. Let's get these guys back to hunting enemy fleets. Now we're going to ask for military access through Burgundy. And if he won't give it because he hates you, you can still get into Reims by coming in through Provence. Provence doesn't care about us at all, so he'll give us access. And we can come in through Lorraine, Trier, Berg, up this way, right? So you can just get some military access from somebody up there, land up in like this area, and then march the whole army this way. But if Burgundy will help us out, now we can wait a day. And because we have free access into here, we go to there, we can go to there, we can go straight to Paris. So we're going to go there, and we're just going to park the whole army on there. Attrition be damned. We've got our best leader, and we're just going to hope that France will allow us to siege down Paris. Since our army is large enough, he should probably let us do it, especially if he keeps trying to transport troops around. Oh, here, let's get rid of the heavies so that Navy can move a little bit quicker. Oops. Get rid of those, get rid of those. Light ships are twice as fast as transports, so by detaching the light fleet, we can catch the transports with the troops on it and kill 4 troops. Now, because we have a much larger army than him, and we're suffering quite a bit of attrition on our whole troops, our whole army, he's just gonna, like, ignore it, basically, and be like, well, I don't really want to fight that. So let's go speed 5 again, and let's just see if this fort will fall. We don't have any cannons, so we can't create like a forced breach, but we don't need to do that. It's important, I think, that you don't get greedy and try to go for more than one province here. Like, yeah, we could probably siege down these things as well, but if we do that, he'll respond, you know? Just put a huge army there, and just wait till the fort falls. Okay, we have Paris. Now, again, all we have to do is just occupy Paris to achieve this mission. We don't need to take it. Since we occupy it, we have control. Control means that we now have gained the Force Union CB over France. We can't use that in the current war, which means that we basically just want to peace France out. So now that we have control of his capital, we have 24 war score, we're looking for a white peace, which we just need to do a little bit more to get him to agree to it. And that's where I probably should not have even sent that army over there. We have occupied and besieged provinces now in Chartres, which means that we can get white peace with France, which means we send it. Which means we only have a 5-year truce with him. And now we have 92 war score against Scotland. And we make Scotland into a vassal. This guy ends up becoming independent because we didn't take him in this war as well. That's fine. And now we have a huge subject, Scotland, with... he's got some issues, right? He doesn't like us very much. These other subjects are also kind of upset about relative power. But Scotland's got 79 development, about the same size as Normandy. From here, I'd probably work into attacking Brittany. Just go after him right now, feed all the land to Normandy. Or just take it for yourself. Maybe even full annex him and then release him. But we are at 5 out of 4 relations while we have this military access to Burgundy. I would consider now, like, sacrificing some prestige or something to make Normandy loyal, and then turning off scutage so that you could... Well, actually, you don't even need to do it. These are our claims. We just declare war on Brittany, take the land for ourselves, then give it to Normandy. But in 5 years, France will have our truce up, and now we have this CB. Restore the Union. Force Union CB on France. Let's wait until August 2nd just so we can take a look at what that will do. With the Force Union CB, the prestige and aggressive expansion and cost are all 100%, but it's going to be a ton of aggressive expansion to force a union over France, but it won't matter because you're going to have France as a lapdog, right? Like, he'll help you out. I would just go for it. So, anyway, this is like a really cheesy way, I think, to game the mission system to immediately open up with a very, very strong start, and I thought you guys might like it, so I figured I'd show it off. Alright, so that's that. I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you have any questions or comments on how you do it different, or you just want to say, hey, that's cool, that's fine too. I'll see you guys in the next episode. See you in a bit.